All right, well, despite snow being in the forecast over the next 24 hours, spring is on the horizon. We had a preview of it yesterday. It was 71 degrees.
It was so nice.
So nice.
And with the warmer weather, though, a lot of people are out with their dogs outside. So what happens if you end up getting hurt by someone else's dog?
Attorney Lawyer Twillie is here now to talk about that. You know, I think, you know, and I asked you, as a good percentage of your business is dog bites, which surprises me. I don't really hear too much about them, but nonetheless, they're happening.
Yeah, they happen all the time. It is a large part of our business, and it's really unfortunate. And I think one of the reasons why you probably don't hear a lot about it is because dog owners, you don't want to publish it. I mean,
no, exactly.
These are animals that we love and treat like family, and generally it's kind of handled behind the scenes with an insurance company.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you're a dog lover. Let's get that out there. You love dogs. You have dogs.
3 of them.
Yeah. Okay. But you want people to know that if they are injured by someone else's dog, there's things they might need to do to really protect themselves.
Yeah. So listen, if there's a takeaway from this episode, hopefully your viewers will understand that, you know, you're on the hook. Like, Connecticut is a strict liability state with the statute regarding dog attacks, injuries resulting from dogs. So if your dog causes injury to either person or property, you're going to be on the hook, and there's very little that you can do to get out from underneath that. So that's number one. And it doesn't matter if Joe, I have a beware of dog sign on my fence, and this guy reached over the fence and pet my dog. Anyway, you're still on the hook. That's
Really?
the way our laws are written.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know that. So you really need to be careful, which would bring us to the other thing that I think people need to walk away with is they need to understand that it doesn't matter if you rent an apartment or own your own home, you really should have insurance for your pet.
Really?
And
okay.
Yep. And a lot of folks that rent will say, you know, I can't afford it, or I didn't even know that I could get renter's insurance to cover my pet. And you can. Mm-hmm. And I've seen it for as low as like $20 a month. So it can be relatively inexpensive. So there's no excuses.
Because what's the alternative? If they don't have insurance, then the money comes out of their pocket.
Out of their pocket. And it'll come, too. Okay. You know, it comes.
So if you're the person who gets, so that's something to make sure that you're insured and protected if you have a pet, even if you think your pet is totally fine. You never know what the dog might happen. Yeah. But what happens then, you said that you even had dogs that people thought were friendlies, just at barbecues, and they decide to bite a child or something. Yes. So what happens? What's the first thing you need to do if you're bitten by a dog?
Well, I mean, if it's really bad, certainly seek medical attention, but you need to get it documented. And that actually would bring me to the third takeaway that I think people should walk away with after this episode is report it. Don't be afraid to report it.
So
a lot of towns have animal control.
Okay.
And the police. So you would want to report it to law enforcement. Okay. Do that, and don't be afraid to do that. I think a lot of times people are afraid to do that because they love animals. They don't want to see harm come to the animal. That almost never happens. Like, usually the complete opposite actually happens. Good comes out of it. You know, owners are told and ordered either by the court or somebody else, the animal control officer, to take dog training classes, mm-hmm. or to, you know, make sure that you have the proper collar or leash on your dog. It protects the dog, it protects the owner, and it also protects the public at large. So report it is the thing. Don't be afraid to report it because it's very rare. Of all the dog bite cases I've had, and I've had so many, I think a dog was put down once, and it was because he was a repeat offender, and not like twice.
People always are afraid
like
that the dog's going to get put down.
Yeah. I mean, he was a bad dog, and you know, it was unfortunate, but it's once out of so many cases I've had.
So it's a myth. They don't usually have the dog put down just because. All right.
They get quarantined. They usually are forced to get some sort of training. It's a good thing for everybody involved.
Okay.
So don't be afraid to report it.
All right. If you want to contact Attorney Twillie, you can visit lalawct.com. Follow him on Facebook at lalawct or on Instagram at getlalaw.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.